hovers on the horizon, a reminder that time is finite. Health might falter subtly, a nagging back pain, slower recovery from colds, making you confront mortality. Suddenly, the mirror doesn't lie. It reflects not just aging skin, but a profound disconnection. A man who's given so much that he's lost himself in the giving. And the question rises, insistent, is this all there is? Have I lived for others, only to forget my own life? Mark couldn't ignore it anymore. He chose peace. The divorce unfolded quietly, without courtroom dramatics or bitter accusations. Paper signed in a lawyer's office on a rainy Tuesday. Lisa was heartbroken, confused. But Mark? He felt a weight lift, like shedding an ill-fitting coat. Now, at 54, he paints in a small studio apartment overlooking a park. Canvases burst with colors he never explored before, vibrant abstracts inspired by those long-forgotten bridge designs. He travels alone, backpacking through Europe, standing in awe before structures he once only dreamed of. Friendships rekindle, hobbies bloom anew. He rediscovers the man in the mirror, the one with curiosity in his eyes, not resignation. It's not selfish. Not an act of betrayal. It's survival. A desperate grasp at reclaiming what's been eroded away. Have you felt this? The slow, insidious fade of your own voice amid the chorus of others' needs? The moments when you pause, wondering if your life is truly yours. Pause here. Reflect deeply. Let it sink in. The erosion of self, bit silent, relentless. But recognizing it? That's the first step toward wholeness. This is the first brutal truth. The foundation of why men over 50 seek solitude. Not out of spite, but out of necessity. Section 2. The weight of unspoken burdens. Consider Tom's story. Sarah's husband. 58 years old. Tom worked as a mechanic in a small-town garage, fixing cars with steady hands that had calluses from decades of labor. Married to Sarah for 32 years, they built a life that looked unbreakable from afar. A modest ranch house on a quiet street, framed by a garden Sarah tended with care. Church every Sunday morning, where they sat in the same pew, nodding to familiar hymns. Weekends brought joy with the grandkids, picnics in the park, laughter over ice cream cones, stories of the old days shared under shady oaks. To outsiders, they were the epitome of enduring love. Stable. Devout. Enviable. But beneath the surface, Tom carried invisible loads. Heavy. Unseen. Arguments that fizzled without resolution, leaving bitter aftertastes. Words unspoken, swallowed like sharp stones. Emotional labor he couldn't even name, the endless listening to Sarah's worries about bills, the kids' troubles, the neighbors' gossip. He gave constantly, fixing her car after work, planning family gatherings, being the shoulder for every crisis. Little in return. A thank you here, a hug there, but the well inside him ran dry. One humid summer night, after a small fight over dinner plans, Sarah wanted Italian, Tom craved quiet, he stormed out. Sat in his old pickup truck in the driveway. Engine off. Windows up. Tears streamed down his weathered face, hot and unbidden. I can't carry this anymore, he thought. The words echoed in his mind, a breaking point. This is emotional exhaustion. Not just tired from a long day. Drained to the core, where every breath feels labored. Psychologists call it compassion fatigue in caregivers, but for men in long relationships, it's deeper. More insidious. It's the accumulation of giving without replenishment, year after year. Society drills it in, men must hold it together. No complaints. Be the strong one, the pillar that never cracks. Vulnerability? That's weakness. So they bottle it up. Push through. But over decades, resentments build. Like stones added to a backpack, one by one, until the straps cut into your shoulders. The weight bends you. Slows you. Until you can't stand straight. Why does this burden crush harder after 50? Health issues creep in uninvited. Aches in the joints from years of hard work. High blood pressure from stress unspoken. Energy wanes like a fading battery. What once fueled endless days now sputters. The body whispers, then shouts, no more. Broader life shifts compound it. Job losses in a changing economy. Tom's garage downsized, leaving him with part-time shifts and uncertainty. Aging parents needing care, reversing roles that drain even more. The mirror reveals grey hair threading through once dark locks, wrinkles mapping a life of quiet endurance. Time feels shorter. Burdens heavier. Tom couldn't ignore the pull anymore. He left. Not in rage, but in quiet resolve. Found a small apartment above a bookstore in town. 1 bedroom, sparse furniture, a window overlooking the river. Now, he sleeps better, uninterrupted by midnight worries. Breathes easier, without the constant tension of unspoken needs. No more walking on eggshells, anticipating the next emotional storm. Peace over partnership. Solitude as salve. Does this resonate with you? The burdens you carry in silence, day after day? The ones that steal your rest, your joy? Repetition for emphasis, the weight presses down. The exhaustion seeps in. The release? It's freedom. Hard one, but real. It's happening. To men like Tom. To perhaps someone you know. Pause. Feel the heaviness. Let it lift in understanding. This is the second brutal truth. The unspoken loads that break the strongest backs. Section 3, the craving for unfettered freedom. Meet David. 54 years old. A mid-level accountant in a mid-sized firm, crunching numbers day in and day out. Divorced after 28 years of marriage to Emily, a meticulous planner who thrived on order. Their home was a testament to that, a neat colonial in the suburbs, with calendars on every wall marking doctor's appointments, grocery runs, and family holidays. They had raised a son and a daughter, both now adults with lives of their own. From the outside, it was steady. Predictable. The kind of life that friends admired for its reliability. Emily organized everything, weekend brunches, annual trips to the same lakeside cabin, even David's wardrobe, pressed and ready each morning. But David harbored a different soul. One that dreamed of spontaneity. Road trips ignited at dawn, with no destination but the horizon. Staying up until midnight lost in books, adventures in far-off lands, philosophies that challenged the mundane. Poetry scribbled on napkins during lunch breaks, ideas that never saw light. Marriage, though, demanded compromise. Always. David's impulses bent to Emily's routines. Want a sudden drive to the coast? Not without checking the schedule. A late-night walk under the stars? Disrupted by early bedtimes for her sake. Year after year, he yielded. For harmony. For love. But each concession chipped away at something vital inside him. One evening, on a rare business trip to Seattle, David found himself alone. He skipped the hotel dinner, wandered to a bluff overlooking the Puget Sound. The sunset painted the sky in fiery oranges and deep purples. Waves crashed below. No one to consult. No plans to adhere to. He felt alive. Truly free. A rush of wind through his hair, the taste of salt on his lips. Unfettered. Why can't this be every day, he wondered, the question piercing like a revelation. This is the pursuit of autonomy. Simple terms, wanting full control over your own life. No strings. No negotiations. In psychology, it's rooted in self-determination theory. Humans need autonomy to thrive, the freedom to choose, to act from intrinsic desires, not external pressures. Without it, motivation fades. Fulfillment slips away. Why does this craving intensify after 50? Time feels finite then. Years slip through your fingers like sand. Men pause and realize, I have maybe 20 good years left. Do I spend them tethered? Broader changes fuel it. The empty nest arrives, Kids move out, leaving echoes in once bustling homes. Financial stability, perhaps earned through decades of sacrifice, offers a safety net. Careers stabilize or wind down, freeing mental space. No more obligations to tie you down for others' sake. Society's expectations loosen their grip. David couldn't suppress it any longer. He initiated the divorce with calm resolve, no shouting matches, just honest talks over coffee. Emily was stunned, pleading for more time. But David needed this. Now, at 56, he hikes rugged mountains in the Rockies, backpack heavy with essentials, heart light with possibility. He writes poetry in journals by campfires, verses flowing without interruption. Answers to no one but himself. Meals when he wants. Sleep under stars. The open road calls, and he follows. Peace? It's found there. In the vast silence of trails. The quiet mornings with coffee brewing slow. No compromises. Have you yearned for this? The freedom that's hovered just out of reach, teasing in fleeting moments. The pull to break free, to live unbound? It's not abandonment. Not cruelty. It's reclamation. Taking back the reins of your existence. Repetition for emphasis, the craving builds. The freedom beckons. The choice liberates. It grows stronger with age. Undeniable. Pause. Feel the pull. Let it stir within. This is the third brutal truth. The hunger for autonomy that no partnership can quench. Section 4 are the scars of accumulated heartache. Think of James, Laura's partner. 61 years old. James had been a history teacher in a rural high school, shaping young minds with tales of ancient empires and forgotten wars. Married to Laura for 37 years, they weathered storms that would shatter lesser bonds. Their home, a weathered farmhouse on the edge of town, held memories etched into its walls, family photos on the mantle, a garden where they once planted roses together. They survived infidelity, years ago, forgiven but never forgotten. The loss of a child, their firstborn son, taken too soon by illness. Financial ruin during the recession, when James lost his pension and they scraped by on odd jobs. Through it all, they clung to each other. Outsiders saw resilience. A couple who beat the odds. But inside, the damage lingered. The scars remained. Deep. Unseen. James built walls. High and thick. Brick by brick, over the decades. Intimacy became too risky. A touch that once sparked warmth now triggered fear. Conversations turned shallow. Laughter rare. He withdrew into silence, staring out windows at the changing seasons. One quiet afternoon, sunlight filtering through dust motes in the living room, James packed a bag. Simple things, clothes, a few books, his old journal. Laura watched, eyes wide with confusion. "I need to heal alone," he said, voice steady but broken. No anger. No blame. Just a quiet exit through the screen door, the latch clicking like a final breath. This is vulnerability avoidance. Emotional wounds that never fully mend, leaving a guarded heart. In simple terms, fear of getting hurt again. A protective instinct gone awry. Psychologists link it to attachment theory. Past pains shape future bonds, creating patterns of avoidance. Early hurts, betrayals, losses teach the soul to retreat. In long marriages, these accumulate like layers of sediment, hardening over time. Why does this surface so powerfully over 50? The cumulative effect weighs heaviest then. Decades of ups and downs erode trust, like waves carving stone. Small slights become chasms. Major traumas echo louder. Life changes amplify it. Health scares, a sudden heart palpitation, a doctor's grim warning, remind you of fragility. Friends' divorces, once distant stories, hit close as peers unravel. Mortality stares back in the mirror, in quiet nights, whispering of limited time. No more energy for reopening old wounds. The heart says, enough. James couldn't bear it any longer. The separation was amicable, papers exchanged over tea at a neutral cafe. Laura moved on, found support in friends. But James? He lives simply now. A tiny cabin in the woods, rented on his modest retirement. He gardens, tending vegetables with careful hands, watching growth in soil he once ignored. Reads philosophy by lamplight, Stoics like Seneca, words on enduring pain alone. Walks forest paths at dawn, breathing in the mist. Peace in solitude. No more openings for pain. The walls stand firm, but the burden lightens. The scars run deep. Invisible threads pulling you back. Do you carry them too? The heartaches that whisper, stay safe? The memories that make closeness feel like danger? Repetition for emphasis, the scars linger. The walls rise. The choice for peace heals. It's raw. Unforgiving. Pause. Touch those hidden wounds. Acknowledge them. This is the fourth brutal truth. The accumulated heartache that drives men to seek refuge alone. The turn. You've heard the 4 reasons. Erosion of self. Emotional exhaustion. Craving for freedom. Scars of heartache. They seem separate. Logical. But here's the brutal twist. The real reason isn't any one of them. It's something deeper. A revelation that flips everything. Men over 50 aren't just choosing peace over partnership. They're choosing themselves. For the first time. In youth, society pushes partnership as the goal. Marriage. Family. Success. But after 50, the illusion cracks. The real epidemic? A lifetime of self-neglect. The turn, it's not about fleeing pain. It's about embracing wholeness. Alone, they find integration. Mind, body, spirit. Not broken, but complete. This flips expectations. Not weakness. Strength. The unspoken truth, peace isn't escape. It's arrival. At your true self. Pause. Let that sink in. Conclusion. We've journeyed through the truths. The erosion of self, where identity fades in the shadows of partnership. The weight of unspoken burdens, draining the soul drop by drop. The craving for unfettered freedom, a call to live unbound. The scars of accumulated heartache, building walls for protection. And the turn, choosing peace is choosing wholeness. A return to self. Society is shifting. Longer lives. Changing roles. More men awakening to this. But it's not hopeless. Understanding breeds empathy. If you're over 50, reflect. What do you truly need? If you love someone who is, listen. Without judgment. Now, a call to action. Share your story in the comments below. Have you chosen peace? Or seen it in someone close? Your words might help another. Subscribe to Deep Reflections for more insights on life's hidden paths. Hit the bell. Don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.